Okay, everyone, we are 3.5 minutes away from State of the Game 163. Obviously, TU10 has just come out, so there's a bit to chat about. I've got Nikki and Yannick on today. Guys, can we just check your microphones real quick? Nikki, how you doing?
Hello, hello. Very well.
Seems to be good. And Yannick?
Yes, this is me. Is my microphone working?
It is. Can confirm that webcam's all sold out.
I tried.
Yeah.
It's just the universe doesn't want me to have a webcam. That's it.
Yeah, that's just the way it is. All right, well, we will be back in 3 minutes. We'll see you soon, everyone. And hopefully today I remember to unmute my microphone and not fuck it up. We'll see. Time will tell. Hello everyone and welcome to State of the Game number 163. I'm double checking that my microphone is working this time. Yes! Success! It's like I'm learning from my failures. Today we're going to be talking about some TU10 stuff. Obviously if you've been playing the game you will already know that you've been, the victim of a forced update. Victim's the wrong word. I feel bad that I said that now. But TU10 has been pushed to your devices. I'm gonna bring in Yannick, who's gonna be real mad that I phrased it like that. Yannick and Nikki, how you guys doing?
Great.
Yeah. Am I getting fired?
It's just I like your choice of words. So that's interesting.
Well, you get an update pushed. You're a victim of, the internet people. People are saying look mad at me, Yannick.
I'm sure some people would agree.
Yeah.
I look mad at everyone. It's just my...
It's the stare down.
I don't know.
It's just my stare.
I don't know if it's mad or like stoic. Or I'm not entirely sure.
Judgmental, I think. Judgmental.
Yes. So yes, like I said before, if you have logged in, you know this is an update being pushed that happened during the maintenance yesterday. There are some known issues, so I just want to go through those quickly before we talk about some extra things. The blinder Firefly cooldown being delayed after applying its effects is unintended, and that's going to be fixed. Merciless/Ruthless is currently not gaining stacks correctly when used with Negotiator's Dilemma. On that note, Negotiator's Dilemma is still doing incorrect or lower than intended damage against marked targets in PvP, so if you're running that is something you want to be on the lookout for. Increased rifle base ammo capacity by 50%, and it was intended to work in TU10, but that currently doesn't look to be working. And the Vanguard talent duration changes. The UI will still show that the old duration, but will be fixed in a later update. On that note, TU10 is out, and there's a bunch of cool stuff. I managed to jump in this afternoon, and it feels good. Already found some cool drops. A particular rifle with some new talents on it got my attention. Have you guys had a chance to jump in yet, or been too busy actually fixing and twiddling the knobs post-launch of TU10?
I've jumped in for a little bit, just hopping across the vendors because they have some pretty decent stuff for sale now. So
yeah, no, I've seen already a bunch of videos popping up on that topic as well. The vendor stuff seems to be pretty legit. I would imagine that there's going to be a bunch of videos coming out on that topic. Maybe some vendor reset stuff. And yeah, no, super cool. Yannick, have you had a chance, or are you just on the front lines making sure everything gets fixed?
But a bit of both. But yeah, of course, I try to make time to play a bit. So yeah, for me, it's been mostly just logging in, making sure my build still works. It does, so it's good. And there are some, new ways to improve it. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then I'm just I've just spent a lot of time just playing around with trying to make new builds, but I haven't really decided yet which way I'm gonna go.
Okay. Yeah, there's a bunch of cool ones, especially once the raid releases, and we'll talk about that later on. There's a bunch of other gear that people have access to. They may have seen on the PTS, but the first thing I want to jump into today is the thing that kind of jumped out as soon as the maintenance happened, and that was the Season 2 pass stuff that had to be addressed. Yannick, can you give us a bit of an update on what happened there for those people?
So what happened is when TU10 came out, the Season 2 pass was available, which was intended. But the problem is that since we're in a gap week between Season 1 and Season 2, the game still considers your progression of Season 1, or still shows your progression of Season 1. So when you would buy the Season 2 pass, then the game will be like, but wait, you're level 100 already and you didn't get your rewards. So you need to get your Season 2 rewards. So it would directly, immediately grant you everything the way that it does if you join at the end of the season and just buy the pass at this point. So this was not intended. So for the time being, we've removed the pass because there's no reason for you to buy it before the season starts anyway. But just to be clear, we will not be taking away the rewards from the players who got them. Okay,
that's good to know. That's nice and clear. If there are any questions on that topic, we'll keep an eye out on chat, and we'll address them as much as we can. But that's kind of the top level stuff anyway. So, Nikki, I wanted to bring you in and talk about some of the top level changes to loot for those people who maybe are just checking back in now that TU10 has come out and haven't followed what's happening on the PTS. What are the top level design intentions for changes to loot in TU10, and why should people be excited about it?
Before I answer that, I would actually like to elaborate a little bit on the previous topic with the season level issue, because it also affects some loot things, and people have been asking. So because the season thought that you were still, level 100, that also means that some of the checks that we do to make sure that Vile and Mantis, the new exotics, to make sure that they only drop after you've acquired them from the season track, those things are also failing because of that incorrect season level. So that means that some people have actually been able to get them through loot drops, but that is not the intention. So as soon as your season level is correct again, you'll have to level up through the season track and unlock the Vile and Mantis at their respective levels on the track. And then they will become available in targeted loot, general loot pools, and also exotic caches.
Okay. I do see some other people talking in chat. I mean, before we get into the top level stuff, purple still existing in heroic. Is that an issue or intended?
If it's heroic global difficulty, then it really depends on what you're playing. We've been pretty clear from the start that we don't want you to just run through the world without any kind of challenge and just open crates and get heroic quality loot, because we want you to actually make a build and play the content that requires a build to face that challenge. So the stuff that does scale now is every loot container inside of missions, and also the loot containers that are part of living world activities. So if you're just out and about in the open world and open a random loot crate, that does not scale. Can still give you a good drop, but it doesn't scale the minimum.
Okay.
But if you go and play supply drops, control points, territory control, all of those containers that are kind of part of the activity, those will scale with what difficulty you're playing that activity at.
Okay. All right. That's nice and clear. I just want to rewind before we go back into the nitty gritty. As I said, there are probably some people who are checking back in with TU10. I've seen, viewership has increased, so I'm going to assume that, maybe half the people in chat didn't check out the PTS. What were the design intentions for loot for TU10?
I think overall, it's making sure that the challenge matches the rewards as much as possible. And we've had that for NPCs, right? They already scaled with difficulty. You got better rolls, higher chances at high ends if you up the difficulty, completely filtering out purple on challenge and higher. But of course, that wasn't true in every case. And that was also not true for cases that made a lot of sense to scale with that type of difficulty, because they're part of that. So we wanted to kind of iron that out to make sure that the baseline of rewards that you get are appropriate for that challenge. And we also looked more into the minimum of the minimum rolls for difficulties, and how loot decides what power it is between that minimum and a full god roll, basically.
Okay. That's good to know. Obviously, there's been a bunch of other changes, and people can check out the patch notes over on the forums. I know mods can post a link to the patch notes in chat if people are interested in the into the nitty-gritty details. I, for one, was playing today, and one of the small details that jumped out at me was when you're doing a control point and you clear it, and you still have blueprints left to get. You actually know what the blueprint is now, which is something that's been kind of frustrating, not knowing. You just get this little icon before TU10, and now you actually know. So that's really cool. I know we talked about this before the stream, but that might lead to some other reasons. The reason you fixed that was for something bigger in TU10. Can we talk a little bit about that before? I mean, we're going to talk about that whole topic later on, but I guess let's talk about crafting a little bit.
Yeah, I think like what I was referring to before stream was we're going to talk about some exotics later on, right?
Yeah.
In particular, the Regulus, and some people might have seen that has a blueprint locked on the crafting bench, which means it is a new crafting quest. It is tied to the raid, like we said before. So most of the things that you need to do for the quest are tied to the raid. Some stuff is not. It's still quite an effort, but contrary to Eaglebearer and Ravenous, you will have an endpoint where you will have a guaranteed Regulus by finishing that crafting quest. And along the way, you will actually be also collecting the blueprints for the new raid gear sets. And that is what I meant by, we need to fix that UI part where we display what blueprints you get. Otherwise, you will just see 6 icons. And that is it. So
cool. No, it's a small little quality of life thing, but it's a nice change to have. Are there any other things that you think people might have missed on the PTS that you think are nice things that made their way into TU10?
Not sure about whether people missed them or not, but I think the bounties that drop in the open world from activities that you do. Scaling with the global difficulty is a nice change. There are, of course, still some bounties available at other difficulties, like the dailies that we have. But the ones that drop in the world should actually scale with your difficulty so that they're appropriate for what level you're actually playing at.
Cool. Again, chat, if you have any questions or things that you want us to maybe get to during the stream, do let us know. We'll do the best that we can. I see Panty Thief, questionable name, but saying that Chameleon is fun now. That's really cool. The buffs to exotics are awesome. I want to pivot a little bit into what's coming next week. We talked about the issues with the Season 2 pass, but yeah, can you give us a rundown of some of the Season 2 top-level details?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, Season 2 starts next week. And I've seen some people in chat being a bit confused by that because we were talking about the fact that the Season 2 pass was available and that the Season 2 already shows in the game. But basically, right now we are in what we call the pre-season week. So it's a season that's supposed to build up and prepare you, or a period that's supposed to build up and prepare you for the coming of the season. You may have noticed already that there is some voice lines actually that can happen with Skinner talking to Hornet and things like that. So this is all preparing for the coming of the season, and Season 2 starts next week on the 23rd. So that will be next Tuesday. And then after that, you have 12 weeks of activities. You can see all of them in the game already. The whole season timeline is available. So these activities are, similarly to what was done with Season 1. There will be global events, there will be leagues, there will be the new manhunt targets, of course. And also then, of course, the whole season progression that comes with it, with the free track with all the rewards, and then the premium track if you buy the season pass.
We've got another apparel event in there as well.
Yes.
Cool. I haven't seen the vanity stuff for that one yet, but can you give us any hints as to what people might be able to expect?
Well, it's called Phoenix Down. So if you think of Phoenix and if you think of our game, it might give you an idea of where this is going, or maybe not.
Maybe not. I don't know.
It's.
I'm excited.
I don't know. I don't know if you want me to.
Maybe no spoilers. I mean, we don't want to spoil other upcoming State of the Games where, of course, we'll show off, pictures of things. I see Murphy asking for pictures. I want pictures as much as you do, but I'm not ready to go rooting around on the Ubisoft network and spoil them just yet.
That's favors. That's totally, that's bird outfits, basically.
Bird outfits. All right,
yes.
So it's bird
That's
cosplay.
exactly what I meant.
Phoenix from X-Men. I don't know that we would have the license for that. That'd be pretty sick, though.
That would be pretty cool.
Running around in full Wolverine situation, that'd be great. But not as yet. I
think I want to comment a bit on because I don't want to people to think that we're ignoring the conversation, especially regarding the season. And I see some people that are disappointed that Season 2 is very similar to Season 1 in structure and in activities. And I think one thing that might not make it better, but at least to explain where we're coming from, is for us, Seasons is really a way to structure the end game. So it's a way for us to say, when you log into the game, if you have a specific purpose and if you want to look for something specific, then you should do that. You don't have to do the season. But if you log into the game and you're like, I don't really know what to do right now, I don't have a plan, the season is here to guide you and tell you, well, right now there's that thing going on, so you can do that thing. And also we make sure that as long as there's the season, you get rewarded by just playing the game. So you have the whole season progression. Mm-hmm. So of course, it does not replace new content. And we don't intend the season to be like like a replacement for new content that people should be excited for. So I can understand that some people are a bit disappointed because apart from the season, then we have the raid, but in the very short future, that's all we have. But we already talked about new things that we're working on. We talked about Skyscraper and stuff like that. So there is new things coming to look forward to. But I just want people to know that, of course, we don't intend the season to be to be a replacement for new content and new exciting activities. It's it's a way for us to just make sure the game is alive and there's something to do. There's some guidance in what you should be playing. It's just some fun new tweaks and new challenges that you can measure yourself against.
Cool. Actually, while we were talking about it, because I do have some little video clips of some of the exotics that we'll be talking about. 2 of them are attached to the raid, and we'll get to those soon. But while we're talking about the season stuff, I just want to take a look at, I'm all about marksman rifles, and I actually think I'll probably jump back into playing it, even though like the rifle meta of TU9 is probably still, around with various build changes. But I want to try and make a marksman rifle build work, especially with the headhunter talent that we're seeing now, and also that Mantis just looks super cool. The vial is also on the season track, correct?
Yep.
Good to know. It does look great. Legend of GOW saying in chat, I'm super into it. So I have to wait until next week until I can start on the season track, but I'll be hitting that pretty hard, I think. So just again to clarify, Yannick, Season 2 is slightly different from Season 1. The Season Pass 1 was included in the purchase of the Warlords of New York expansion. This time around it's slightly different, but you don't have to buy Season 2. Can you just clarify that one more time? I know we talk about it every week, but...
Yeah, no, just to make sure it's as clear as possible. If you own Warlords of New York, the season is available to you without any extra cost. So you can play the season, you can play all the activities of the season, you can play all the global events, the leagues, the apparel event, all of that you can play. And you get the progression as well with the free track. So that's the one that's on top. But then on top of that, you can purchase the season pass, which unlocks the premium track. So that's the one at the bottom that comes with extra rewards. And also it comes with a new project that will give you extra season XP.
Okay, cool. I want to transition into talking about the raid, unless you have any other season-related things you want to talk about, Yannick?
Not season related, but what I would like to mention, just because also something that I want the community to know, but there's been a lot of discussion regarding the cooldown on the Hive, especially cooldown on skills in general, especially cooldown blocking you from changing your loadout and all of that. And so the revive Hive cooldown being super long and preventing you from changing loadout, preventing you from changing skills and all of that. Just want everybody to know that we agree with that feedback, and we're looking at it, and we're going to change that to make it much easier and faster to be able to change loadout.
Of course, that's cool.
Change skill.
There is going to be a 10.1, and we'll talk about that in the upcoming weeks. Now it's a little bit too soon to kind of get into that topic, but there will be changes coming in an upcoming client patch. All right, raid time. I want to say that I think that a trailer for the raid was super cool. So I want to show that to people now. We'll be back in... How long is the... Oh, it's 1 minute. So we'll be back in a minute to talk about the raid. All right, enjoy, because this is super cool. Lots of explosions.
White House has incoming. Everyone run! Go!
All right. Lots of explosions, lots of flamey stuff. I just want to give a shout out. I don't know if the brand art team watched this, but that is some seriously impressive work from home work, and it's next level awesome. So I'm into it. I hope people are excited about the raid. After seeing the Regulus cameo in there and also seeing it on the PTS and the way that that pistol works, I'm pretty sure that I'll be jumping into the raid as soon as I can, because I'm pretty hyped about a pistol build. So, all right, yes, I want to clarify the dates for the raid. People will have seen last week what we have going on there. So, the raid starts on June 30th. Yannick, can you clarify how that day might go in terms of maintenances, if there is one, deployment of the raid? What can people expect, especially those who are looking to kind of hit the ground running and maybe be first in the world at completing that whole thing?
June 30th, we will have a maintenance, like our usual weekly maintenance, but at the same time as usual. The opening of the raid does not require maintenance. So just be on the lookout for the proper time, because it will just open live.
Cool. That's really good. I do want to I'll drop a link in chat. So people who haven't linked their Twitch accounts with their Ubisoft accounts, you will need to do that to be eligible for Twitch drops. It'll be if you are watching for X amount of time. I don't actually have the amounts of time on me right now, but there will be a certain amount of time for the mask and a certain amount of time for the backpack trophy. And we'll clarify that definitely before June 30th. So definitely go and link your accounts, because otherwise you will miss out, and we don't want you to feel like if you're watching that you're like, why didn't I get my Twitch drops? It's likely because you didn't link your accounts. So go over and do that as soon as you can. I just want to pull up the Regulus while we're here, because it's super cool, and we saw a quick cameo in the trailer before. Nikki, can we talk a little bit more about, was there any other things we can say about the crafting side of how this might go down? Or do we want to leave that as a bit of a discovery?
I can tell you that the first step to kick it off is to just complete the raid. And then you will get 2 separate projects, and you can take it from there, basically. Those projects are linked to the gear sets. In the first raid, we just dropped those blueprints from the bosses once a week from every boss. And we now kind of incorporated them into this longer crafting quest where you get both the blueprints and the Regulus at the end. But there are several steps in between.
Okay, that's cool. It's mad powerful. If you go and have a look, there's some YouTube videos up about like the effect of when you headshot people, you'll create like a 5-meter explosion, and it's like 400% weapon damage or something. It's bonkers. And then the Ravenous, which people may also have seen, the double barrel rifle, is pretty tricky. I think this is going to be a little bit of a thinking man's rifle, where like you have offensive capabilities on the right shoulder, and then left shoulder gives you defensive. It's crazy. Yeah, Macho's saying he has a video on the pistol, and it is nuts. I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited about the weapon model for that one, because that's just pretty. So if for no other reason, I just want to get it because it's pretty. It's probably like I need to up my IQ before I use that gun, but you know, we'll try it out if I ever manage to get my hands on it. The other thing that's worth talking about, if you remember back to the first raid, we did have a bit of a reward for the people that managed to get there first, and we are doing the same thing this time per platform. So PC and console, both consoles will get their own, and you will take pride of place in the White House should you manage to be first. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be, back to back for previous winners, but I mean, I'd be excited to see if anyone manages to do that. We'll see. Twitch rivals. I don't know if there's any Twitch rivals.
Different team also.
It would be nice. I would like to see some
New
rivalry
faces.
take place, but we'll see. I don't know. People are already asking Macho and Solid for raid carries. Same.
Can tell you it won't be me.
It won't be me either, but it's we'll see. We'll see. But no, I am really, really excited for June 30th to just kind of chill out and watch everyone go ham on it. It's going to be very, very cool. So the level 40 version will be available immediately. Yannick, currently the level 30 version should be available the following week. Is that correct?
Yes, 1 week later, yeah.
Cool. And then the discovery mode will be coming later, and we'll give people updates on that as soon as we have them.
Yep.
So we talked about the exotics and some of the ways in which you can get them. The gear sets, the Foundry's Bulwark, and the Future Initiative that people have seen on the PTS. Is there anything we need to say about those, Nikki?
Yeah, I think some people were surprised that they were getting them outside of the raid, but it's always been our intention to only make the backpack and chest exclusive to the raid, because we did learn from the first raid that because it is locked behind a kind of exclusive type of content, those gear sets were underused at first, and we want players to experience them and make builds around them and give feedback on them and so on. So this is kind of like an in-between solution where we do have exclusive rewards for the raid, but to throw together a basic set, you don't need the backpack and the chest, but only the other 4 items. And those are just available like any other gear piece in the game.
Cool. Perfect. Yannick, is there anything else we need to say about the raid? I think that's kind of all of the information we need to get to. Obviously, there's new collectibles and commendations and all that sort of stuff coming. And I'm pretty sure there's an article up over on thedivisiongame.com with all of this. So if you want to use your eyes to read anything, you can head over there as well. As always, we'll be keeping an eye on chat. Yannick and Nikki, if there's anything in there that you think you have a nice answer for, that would be great. Or not a nice answer, an answer. Maybe it's not a nice answer. Maybe it's something that's hard to hear. I don't particularly mind as long as it's true. But we'll go through some agent highlights. Yannick, it sounded like you wanted to say something before I did that.
Yeah, you asked me if I had something more to say, and then you didn't let me talk. So
sorry, your body language is throwing me off.
Like, if you would see my camera, you would see me with like. No, so I want to explain a bit our reasoning behind delaying the level 30 or having a delay between level 40 and level 30. I understand this is not going to be popular with everyone, but at least I want to give a bit of a background. For us, the raid is really like the ultimate challenge for the players. It's the ultimate challenge for the most optimized and advanced players. And while we have those in level 40 and level 30. We really wanted to put the level 40 version in the spotlight because this is, where this is where the challenge, the toughest challenge is going to be, because this is the highest version of our game, or the highest level version of our game. Mm-hmm. We also really didn't want the world first race to turn into a race between level 40 and level 30. Because then whichever side wins, there's going to be a debate and a question about the balancing of those two modes. Were they really equal, or was one easier or harder than the other? Mm-hmm. So we really didn't want that to end up being a race between those two versions. So that's why we decided to prioritize the level 40 as the official world first race. But of course, we will be keeping an eye on the level 30 version as well, and we will be happy to celebrate the world first on the level 30, just the same.
Okay. All right. As I said, if there are any things that pop up in chat that you want to address, we will do so. But I want to take a look at a couple of agent highlights for the week because I mad enjoy these and I think they are very cool because our community keeps creating really cool stuff. And if you've been following this show for a while, you will have seen Grand Eric's pop up. I don't know if you're in chat, but thanks for being awesome and continuing to create stuff. I saw actually with this one that you were tweeting out that you were really stoked to be doing some more cute stuff. I particularly like that the drone has a hat and the Seeker Mine looks to have a snorkel and mask. So that is 10 out of 10. And sushi, so it's adorable. I'm just trying to keep an eye. Yeah, you are in chat. It's been really cool to see these things pop up, especially at a time when we're all locked at home and trying to stay sane. That's really cool. Yannick, why aren't you sending in your fan art? I'm mad disappointed.
I'm just too shy.
Too shy? Or you don't want to embarrass everyone else and make them feel inferior?
with my fantastic skills. Yeah.
Okay, let's say it's that. And we also saw over on Reddit that Mary Dixon is joining the slew of cosplayers who are pumping out awesome stuff. This is really cool. And the watch looks orange. My color vision isn't great. Chat, orange or red? What's your call?
I think that's definitely orange.
Yeah. Do you think, Yannick, if we went back, we'd probably make a better distinction between orange and red? Maybe choose a different color? I don't know. Just shower thoughts. These things I think about sometimes. All right, Nikki's left the stream. He's coming back.
Maybe that's the whole point. They're all shades of very similar color, so maybe the line between orange and red is not that that strong.
Deep. Yannick's going meta. I like it. But Mary's cosplay, super, super cool. I particularly also like the headset. Just gonna say, I'm a sucker for a headset ever since, Yannick, you grew up on Backstreet Boys and Britney, I'm assuming. No? No, you don't have a fondness for headsets? Like a nice head mic? Just give me a thumbs down if you disagree.
You want to know, fun fact, when I started going on internet back when internet was very young, the first thing I did, the first website I put together was a petition against Britney Spears to ask her to stop singing.
Whoa. Rude.
And I would go on Diablo Battle.net and try to get people to sign that petition.
Yannick, you're a horrible bully.
That was my life as a teenager.
Wow. There you go. People better remember that. Oh, my dog's coming in. Sorry. She wants to say hi. No, she's just going to bed. Did you see anything in chat that you want to address? Nikki, Yannick?
Two things related to the season level issue that we had with season 2. I saw some people in chat saying that they actually now currently have chest and backpacks from the raid sets. They are on the season track as well, but you will only earn them once. Right, so you will get a full set of both sets through the season reward. So if you have them now, it's very possible that happened through the season pass bug. If they are dropping from stuff that they shouldn't be dropping from, then of course we would like to know. But haven't seen that happen myself. The other thing was about the field proficiency caches. So we've implemented so that if your season level is at max, and you level up your watch, you will also get a field proficiency cache. But because of the season level issue, if it does get reset correctly now in this preseason week, you are not at max season level. So that's why you're not getting any field proficiency caches in this week. But if you finish the season, you will again.
I also saw a pretty good question. I don't know if we have the answer to it, but we'll try. Gamura was asking, when can we buy Season 1 apparel with textiles? The Season 1 apparel, will that have a source, Yannick?
I actually don't know.
Okay, well, we'll chase that up. It's a really good question. We'll let you know. Hopefully we have an answer for that next week.
Yeah. One thing I want to address is regarding NPCs and NPC difficulty, because I've seen a bunch of people bringing it up, and it's the same. I don't want folks to think we're ignoring it. There is no change, no intended change in TU10 regarding NPC difficulty to make NPCs harder or that would justify NPCs hitting harder or being more aggressive than they were before. The last pass we did on NPC was 9.1. So if the game really feels different, then that means there's something that made it in this update that was not intended. So we are looking into it, but what helps is just good reports and good examples. So if you have anything that helps us identify what may have happened, if anything happened, because there's always also just a question of the balancing of the game is a bit different, so things might just feel different but not actually have changed. But at least I just want to tell everyone that we haven't stealth changed something on the NPCs. So if there is something different, it's not intentional, and we will have to find out what it is.
Yeah, if you do have any examples of things that are acting up really, really funky, please let us know. The more detail, the better, so we can address those if there are issues there. Do let us know. Yannick, Nikki, I'll give you one more chance to address stuff. Otherwise, we're going to end the stream in just a sec.
Yeah, I saw one more thing related to the containers scaling with difficulty. In particular, when playing bounties. Bounties don't really take place inside a volume, a predefined volume, like a mission does or a living world activity does. Bounties can just basically spawn all over the place. So all of the loot that you get from the bosses will actually scale with the difficulty of the bounty. But all of the containers you just run into while doing that bounty are basically just open world containers, and they don't scale with the open world difficulty, the global difficulty, or the bounty difficulty. They're just containers that happen to be around, basically. So for bounties, it's just the loot of the enemies.
Cool. All right. Yannick, one last chance. Or we're good. Or you could sing us a song. I'll take either.
No. I'll just blink for everyone.
All right. Okay. Next week, join us again as Yannick does a Britney cover to redeem himself for all his years of
I think I'm
cruelty.
feeling a bit sick. I don't think I will be here next week.
Okay. All right. Fine.
I'm coughing.
Thanks everyone for coming by the stream. We hope you enjoy TU10. Please let us know your experience with it. Good, bad, somewhere in between. Just general feedback is always great. The forums are the best place for feedback always. We love having you here in chat, and it gives us a bit of read of stuff. But your messages go real quick, and sometimes we, might miss stuff. So catalog your thoughts on the forums in a nice, concise way, and those are the best ways to do it. We'll catch you again next week, and then the week after that is the raid. So June 30th, if you missed that. Season starts on the 23rd, Season 2, which is next Tuesday. So bookmark that, and I guess we'll all be grinding. We'll see you again for 164 next week. Thanks, Yannick and Nikki, for joining today.
Glad to be here.
Well,
Yes.
you're welcome.
Yes, and
Always
I'm
good to be here.
gonna try and track down a webcam for you, even though they're all sold out locally. We'll sort something.
Just to be clear, I did try to get a webcam, but apparently, I guess because of the world situation, everybody thought now is the good time to actually get a webcam, which means that getting a webcam online is proving more challenging than I thought. So, but I'll find one.
Yes. All right. Again, see you all next week. Thanks very much for coming by. I'm gonna
Bye-bye.
take
See you.
everything off. Bye, everyone.